Have you ever pondered the possibility of humans calling Mars home? The red planet has for long ignited our curiosity and sparked our fascination. It's the celestial body most like Earth, yet strikingly different. Mars, with its rusty red hue, brings with it a promise of the unknown, a potential new frontier for us to explore, conquer, and inhabit. Yet Mars is not Earth. It's a world that's harsh and hostile, with its thin atmosphere, frigid temperatures, and barren landscapes. The challenges are immense. Can we breathe? Can we grow food? Can we protect ourselves from the radiation and the dust storms? Over the years, scientists and engineers have been grappling with these questions, working diligently to transform this alien world into a human-friendly environment. The potential is tantalizing, the journey fraught with obstacles, but the question remains, how will the first humans survive on Mars? Surviving on Mars isn't as simple as packing a bag and catching a spaceship. No, it's a bit more complex than that. Mars, the fourth rock from the Sun, our next-door neighbor, presents a host of challenges to human survival, a Mars dilemma if you will. Let's start with the climate. Mars isn't exactly what you'd call hospitable. With average temperatures around -80 degrees Fahrenheit and dust storms that can engulf the entire planet, it's safe to say that a tropical vacation, it is not. The thin Martian atmosphere, just about 1% of Earth's at sea level, offers little protection from solar radiation. It's like perpetually being on the summit of Mount Everest, without the comforting blanket of Earth's magnetic field. Then there's the issue of oxygen, or rather, the lack thereof. Mars's atmosphere is a staggering 95% carbon dioxide, with only trace amounts of oxygen. It's like trying to breathe inside a fizzy drinks bottle. So we'll need to find a way to either transport our own oxygen supply, or generate it on Mars itself. Last, but certainly not least, is the food and water conundrum. Mars is a barren landscape, a desert in the truest sense of the word. There's no readily available water source, and the soil, rich in iron oxide, is not conducive to growing crops. We can't exactly call for a pizza delivery when we're millions of miles away from the nearest pizzeria. These are formidable challenges, but not insurmountable. Let's delve into how we plan to overcome them. It's a journey filled with trials and tribulations, but one that could redefine what it means to be human, to be a species not just of one planet, but of two. The Mars dilemma isn't just about survival, it's about the audacity of hope, the power of human ingenuity, and our relentless pursuit of knowledge. So let's put on our space helmets and journey to the stars. Mars, here we come. Terraforming Mars could be the key to making it habitable. Now this might sound like a plot ripped straight from a sci-fi novel, but it's a concept that scientists have been pondering for decades. Terraforming, in essence, involves transforming a hostile environment into one that can sustain human life. In the case of Mars, this would mean modifying the red planet's atmosphere, temperature, topography, and ecology to resemble those of Earth. But how feasible is this concept? Well, the answer is a little complicated. Technologically, the process of terraforming Mars is currently beyond our reach. It would require monumental feats of engineering, the likes of which we've never undertaken before. However, as we've learned from our own history, what seems impossible today could become reality in the future. The timeline for terraforming Mars is also a subject of debate. Some optimistic estimates suggest it could be achieved in a few centuries, while others propose a timeline stretching over millennia. Regardless of the timeline, one thing is clear. Terraforming Mars would be a long-term project, a legacy for future generations to inherit and build upon. One of the major hurdles in terraforming Mars is creating a breathable atmosphere. Mars's current atmosphere is thin and composed primarily of carbon dioxide with traces of nitrogen and argon. It lacks the oxygen necessary for human survival. To create a breathable atmosphere, we would need to thicken Mars's atmosphere and increase its oxygen content. This could potentially be achieved by releasing gases trapped in the Martian soil or by importing them from Earth, among other methods. However, these methods pose their own challenges and risks, including the potential for runaway greenhouse effects or the introduction of harmful elements into the environment. These are hurdles we must overcome before we can call Mars our second home. Terraforming presents a long-term solution, but what about the initial settlers? Well, that's a question for another scene. The first humans on Mars will need to be resourceful and resilient. And indeed, the initial survival strategies proposed for our interplanetary pioneers reflect this very notion. In the harsh, unyielding landscape of the red planet, the first line of defense will be the habitats. These aren't your typical homes but engineered marvels designed to withstand Martian conditions. They will provide a safe haven, protecting the settlers from the thin atmosphere, extreme temperatures, and solar radiation. Imagine a bubble of Earth, encapsulated within the confines of Martian terrain, where the air is breathable, and the temperature is comfortable. But humans need more than just shelter to survive. We need food. Traditional farming methods aren't viable on Mars. So, how will we sustain ourselves? The answer lies in hydroponics, a method of growing plants without soil. This resource-efficient system will allow settlers to cultivate their food, recycling water and nutrients, and making the most of the limited resources available. Picture a greenhouse teeming with life, a stark contrast to the barren Martian landscape outside. Water, the elixir of life, is scarce on Mars, but it's not completely absent. The Martian soil, or regolith, holds water ice within its depths. Extracting this water will be a critical survival strategy, quenching the thirst of the settlers and the crops, and also providing a source for oxygen production. Imagine machines tirelessly working, extracting this precious resource from the arid soil, turning the seemingly impossible into reality. These survival strategies are not merely theoretical constructs, but carefully considered plans, each holding the promise of turning the dream of Martian colonization into reality. They paint a picture of the future, where humans, in their characteristic tenacity and ingenuity, have carved out a niche for themselves in a world that, until now, has been beyond our reach. These strategies provide a glimpse into the day-to-day life of the first Martian settlers. As they live, work, and thrive, these brave pioneers will be the torchbearers of humanity's indomitable spirit, marking a new chapter in our species' story. Surviving on Mars isn't just about securing food, water, and shelter. It's about something far more intangible, yet equally, if not more, vital. It's about the human spirit, the mental resilience to withstand the harsh realities of a barren world far from home. Imagine, if you will, stepping out of your habitat onto the rust-colored soil of Mars. The landscape is stark and alien, devoid of the verdant greenery or the azure oceans we're accustomed to on Earth. It's silent, save for the occasional hum of machinery. You're millions of miles away from everything and everyone you've ever known. Now imagine that this is your reality every single day. This is the solitude of Mars. The isolation can be daunting. Humans, as a species, are innately social creatures. We thrive on interaction, on shared experiences. On Mars, the small team of settlers will have to rely on each other, not just for survival but for companionship. The bonds formed here will be unlike any on Earth, born out of a shared journey and a shared purpose. Another significant mental challenge is the lack of natural environments. We often underestimate the positive impact that nature has on our mental well-being. The simple act of walking through a lush forest or along a sandy beach can be therapeutic. On Mars, such experiences will be absent. Instead, settlers will have to find solace in the rugged beauty of the Martian landscape, in the towering Olympus Mons or the vast Valles Marineris. Addressing these psychological challenges is crucial. It's not enough to merely survive on Mars, the settlers must also thrive. They'll need to maintain their mental well-being to find joy and fulfillment in their Martian existence. This is where the human element truly comes into play. It's about fostering a community, about finding beauty in the alien, about adapting and overcoming. The human spirit will be the most important factor in the success of this endeavor. It's this spirit, this will to adapt and persevere, that will ensure the survival and prosperity of the first humans on Mars. The colonization of Mars may still be a dream, but it's a dream that humanity is relentlessly pursuing. We've journeyed through the challenges of surviving on the red planet, the concept of terraforming, and the deeply human elements of this grand endeavor. Now, let's look to the future. Visionaries predict that within the next few decades we could witness the first human footprints imprinted on Martian soil. This monumental step would mark the beginning of a new chapter in our cosmic saga, a chapter where humans become an interplanetary species. But colonization is not merely about planting a flag, it's about establishing a self-sustaining community, a home away from home. The ripple effects of such an achievement would reverberate across generations, opening up new possibilities for scientific discovery, resource utilization, and perhaps even a new understanding of our place in the universe. The journey to Mars is more than a scientific endeavor, it's a testament to human resilience and the insatiable quest for knowledge.